So there's a new research study out that finds a rather alarming 91% of companies are completely unprepared or a little bit unprepared. That's like Miracle Max, by the way, saying he's only mostly dead. A little bit prepared for the California Consumer Privacy Act, the CCPA, or the ever-present GDPR, that European legislation that protects consumer privacy. Hello everybody, Robert Rose here with the news. It's what's new, but most importantly, it's what's important in the world of content marketing. It's the news you need to lead in the world of content marketing and content strategy. And for the best and best practices, you can always head over to contentmarketinginstitute.com. So it is the depth of summer here, folks, but in this heat wave, well, we do have a little bit of news, and it's about, this week, data, privacy, and your marketing and content strategy. There is this new research study from Citrio that finds that a rather alarming 91% are completely unprepared, as they actually say themselves, for the CCPA, the California Consumer Privacy Act, as well as the GDPR, legislation that's been in Europe since 2018. Now, if you're not familiar with either of these pieces of legislation that protect consumer privacy, these do so, and this is the reason why we have all those annoying pop-ups saying you're about to get some cookies. They are helping consumers protect their data online. Now, that an organization like Citrio should find such results, well, that shouldn't be too surprising given what they do for a living. They help companies comply with privacy legislation. But the research here is actually quite interesting. While they found that 91% of companies do, in fact, have real trouble complying with this privacy regulations, the more troubling number is that 50% of these companies acknowledge in their privacy statements that they do need to comply, but actually don't have a mechanism for customers to exercise their data privacy rights. The study goes on to talk about the differences between B2C and B2B companies, and there are points where it points to the idea that companies have not built in automation and technology needed in order to deal with data access requests. Now, this part is where the research moves into a little bit of content marketing, into why you might want to think about technology and automation solutions for complying with these data access requests. So what's our take here at CMI? Well, you may or may not need an automated solution to deal with GDPR and or CCPA. However, the most important and pressing and underlying question isn't how you're automating data access requests. Chances are you're not even familiar with what a data access request is, nor have you ever gotten one. And there's a greater than even chance that your audience doesn't want to know how, or even know what purpose a data access request would be given to your company. However, as we've said before at CMI, the heart of these new privacy regulations, and there will be more coming, by the way, isn't about leaning away from capturing first-party data or even using data for marketing purposes. No. The real question is, how are you designing your content-driven experiences where the customer wants to give you the data in the first place? And not for some transactional access to a digital asset like a white paper. I would note that I had to give up an email address in order to access the Citrio study on CCPA and GDPR data. I wanted that asset, but I didn't necessarily want to give them my personal data in exchange for it. The real question is, if we marketers are asking for data, we have to ask ourselves, why would they want to give it to us? If I deliver you value through my amazing newsletter or my blog or my access to the resource center so that you want to be informed about updates, or you want that weekly blast of my thoughts, or you want that social media post, then I really am delivering you value, and what you want to do is give me the right set of data to be able to use it for me to deliver a better content product to you. This is the key part. And it's not just the technicality, but it's also the spirit of GDPR and CCPA that would be met in that case. At that point, it really matters not whether you have a cookie notice on your website or you don't have a privacy policy that doesn't actually comport to your ability to automatically respond to consumer requests. Those things are mechanical. They're relatively easy to implement and fix. The harder part, and arguably the more important part, is to not look at data privacy legislation as a hurdle that we have to get over or get through, but an opportunity to transform our content into a product that consumers want to interact with and want to subscribe to. Then, not only do regulations like GDPR and CCPA, are we living up to them, but they're ultimately irrelevant to our activities. And that's it. That's 5 minutes of news that you need to lead in the world of content marketing. I'm Robert Rose, and remember, it's your story to tell. Tell it well. I'll see you next week.